45. Jayden Daniels returning from injury for the Commanders as they take on the Chargers. Second quarter is where we pick it up. Chargers lead 10-0. Second and 8 for the Chargers on the Commanders 42. And Herbert finds Quentin Johnson over the middle, Dan, but Quan Martin knocks out the ball.
This is something the defense in Washington desperately needed. They got absolutely torched last week by the Falcons. They're down 10-0, and they find a way to punch the football. Quentin Johnson's been so good for the Chargers. Huge takeaway by that defense.
After the fumble, less than 5 to play in the half. Commanders 2nd and 1 on the Chargers 15. Daniels finds our guy, Bill Krosky-Merritt.
Wild Bill
Makes it into the end zone for the touchdown. Commanders would add a field goal, go on to the half, tied at 10-10. First drive of the third quarter, 1st and 10 for the Commanders on their 45, and there's Krosky-Merritt again, Dan.
Really good job by the play fake protection. Ball comes out into the flat. And then another perimeter run where the Chargers defensively just lost leverage. It's a walk-in touchdown.
Commanders score 17 unanswered points. First play of the fourth quarter, Commanders lead 20-10. 2nd and 2 on the LA 36. Krosky-Merritt takes it up the middle, but Tierra Tart forces the fumble and recovers it. After the turnover, Chargers in the red zone, 3rd and goal at the 4, and Herbert attempting a pass to Keenan Allen, but Mikey Sainris still at the goal line. Commanders would go on to win 27-10, and the news got worse today for the Chargers. New on NFL Live, Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh said Brian Hampton's going to be placed on IR, sidelining him minimum of 4 games due to his ankle injury. Najee Harris is already out, of course, with an Achilles injury. RC, just how big of a deal is this? You think about Justin Herbert. He's looked so good at times this year, but these guys got to stay healthy.
For the first 3 weeks, I thought Justin Herbert was one of the best players in the entire NFL. He would be my leading MVP candidate through that. But you already lose Slater in the offseason, Joe Alt, who was showing that he was an absolute superstar at the left tackle position, and now Omari and Hampton. After Najee Harris went out, I thought that was actually a good thing for him because you could see Omari and Hampton starting to ascend, averaged over 10 yards a carry against the New York Giants. I believe that he's special. I believe he's the sort of special that can change games, and when you are already depleted up front, you need a run game. We know that that's something that Jim Harbaugh wants for his team to get into the play-action chunk game, and so losing him is huge.
Mina, how was that Commanders offense, though, able to get back on track with Jayden Daniels under center?
I mean, the run game put up gaudy numbers in this one, and when you watch it on tape, one thing that struck me, I've just never seen the Chargers defense out-leverage the way they were, especially on those off-tackle runs, but just the creativity from Cliff Kingsbury, who has always been excellent at designing run game, but he continues to iterate with this Washington offense in really interesting ways. I know Dan's going to do a tape on this, but the 6 offensive line looks, what I loved was how they would put Daniels in the pistol on all of those, so they would create some uncertainty on the part of the defense. And then when Daniels is in the gun, as he normally is, and they run mostly, it's a lot of gap runs, a lot of counter, pin pull. The touchdown was pin pull. Everybody is pulling and blocking so well out of those looks. And his presence in the gun creates some uncertainty that froze the Chargers' second-level defenders a little bit. But the execution in the offensive line blocking on those gap runs was really excellent.
Yeah, I think it's the best way to utilize the pistol in the modern era of the NFL. I've always thought that, Cliff's offenses were a little bit finesse. I think the utilization of that 6th offensive lineman plus the 2 tight ends gives them a little bit of physical finesse. I mean, there's 6 offensive linemen, 2 tight ends, there's that pistol. So there's the balance of their offense, and now you get those double pullers. This is like what we would call GY counter, but that Y is a 6th offensive lineman. And so once again, you see 6 offensive linemen, 2 tight ends, there's that pistol. So there's symmetry, down block, down block, down block by 3 offensive linemen, while also double pulling and a tight end being the perimeter blocker. Now we get double wing 6 offensive linemen, and there's an outside zone or a duo where you get double teams, double team front side. There's an easy cutback. I mean, there's a vacant lane on the backside that the tailback finds. I just think the ability for them to still in their no huddle offense and still have finesse in regards to a lot of the motion and movement, but have that physical presence in their run game. I just think it's something that, this is the new layer for this offense this year. I think last year it was the no huddle was new to everybody. I think now this is the evolution for Cliff in this offense.
I would also give Adam Peters a lot of credit, the general manager. This offseason, we knew that Jayden Daniels had this breakout season, but they needed to add some things in the offense, and who'd they go and get? They got Deebo Samuel, who's been incredible for the Commanders. Yeah. Basically a 1-year deal for $20 million. Go make your money somewhere else if you have to, but use this year to to really show what you still got, he's been outstanding. Laramie Tunzel has been as good an offensive tackle in the league as anybody this season, and absolutely was dominant against a good Chargers defensive
They usually
line.
run to his side, for Laramie Tunzel's side.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other piece about Deebo Samuel is you've seen over the last 2 weeks, Cliff Kingsbury sort of evolve his position, right? They have to be different from the #1 wide receiver position when it's Deebo Samuel. We're talking about the backside of empty, reduced splits, deep crossers. We're seeing him in motion, getting the football to him very quickly in the flat. Also, he's used largely in the quick screen game. I thought the way that Deebo Samuel was moved around and maneuvered as a chess piece for this offense was extremely interesting in this game. And now you add Terry McLaurin to that when he can come back and take the top off of a defense, and it's really going to help Jayden Daniels.
Deebo Samuel has 4 touchdowns in 5 games this season. For reference, last season, 4 touchdowns in 15 games. He's really enjoying his new spot. All right, Swagoo, what's coming up next? If they struck up the band for you.
And watching Cam Scatterboo disrespect the BMB playing like this. This was awful. And now we have a villain, BMBs. We got a little dude that's starting to pancake us. And I don't want to see any of this transpire anymore. Grandison, I love you. They took a sack away from you in the game. But this pancake block from Cam Scatterboo, you have made enemies all over the 300-plus club. And we are not going to tolerate this disrespect. That's why I'm going to highlight the big fellas.
And on ESPN and ABC. Now, Travis Hunter, we will see him on display tonight. He has been a consistent part of the Jaguars' offense this season, playing 58% of his team snaps and at least 35 in every game. But after averaging 40 defensive snaps in weeks 2 and 3, Hunter only played 9 defensive snaps last week against 49ers, all in the first quarter. Head coach Liam Cohen called it just a personnel decision. And in talking to Liam Cohen about how they will plan to use Travis Hunter tonight, we should see something more similar to what we saw earlier in the season, weeks 2 and 3. About 80 snaps total, 40-40 split is what they'd like to do both offensively and defensively. And they have sung Travis Hunter's praises, talking about how committed he's been to both sides of the ball, putting in overtime. One of my favorite quotes was talking to Devin Lloyd, the linebacker. He said Travis Hunter is so crazy that it's like he stops, he catches the ball, then he lingers in the air for a little bit, and then comes back down, and you're like, what just happened? I asked Travis Hunter about that, if he feels himself lingering in the air. He's like, no. He looked at me like I was crazy. He's like, that's just what I do. So it is athletic ability that is God-given. It's crazy. It's amazing. But I think what's made the difference here for Jacksonville has been how committed Travis Hunter has been to learning both sides of the ball, putting in a lot of extra time to make sure that works. And we'll see it on display here on the field behind us tonight. All right, Peter, what's got you most excited for this Chiefs Jags?
I think it's going to be a statement, kind of franchise statement moment for the Jaguars. You know, the last time the Jaguars won a Monday Night Football game was 2011. Blaine Gabbert beat Joe Flacco in a game 12-7 on Monday Night Football. The last time the Jags won in this building on Monday night. Here you are, young team. This is it. Maurice Jones-Drew and there's Jackson DeVille. And of course, you've got Gabbert. But, like, what are the Jaguars now? They're 3-1. They're a nice story. Imagine they beat the Chiefs. And now you're 4-1, and you've got this young coach and this young quarterback and Travis Hunter playing it like he's been playing. I look at this if I'm a Jaguars player. National TV, one of the few times we're going to get this opportunity. We've got a shot here to make a statement. And for the